And hello, everybody. Welcome back to. Uh, there we go. All set. Welcome back to another Rain Rambles. Today, we are, as you can see here, going to be talking about Splatoon. So, firstly, of course, to start, what is Splatoon? Splatoon is a video game of the shooter genre, though it is rated E for everyone, due to using colors and paints as its weaponry, as well as using technology of their own in their made up world of a potential future for humanity. Fun stuff. Um, Look who takes our place. The aquatic life. Anyhow, um, they use technology of their own to evolve mundane everyday objects that we know into ink dispensing mean machines. The main game mode of the game, that is the casual mode, of course, is Turf 4. That is the name for it. Here's where already the differences begin. The focus is not taking out your opponents, though you can do that, of course. That is a part, of course, of the whole thing of shooters. But instead, main focus of the game is with the ink itself. Cover the stage in your color. Whoever covers the stage in the most of their color wins that round. There is other modes, but we should discuss them at a later point in the story. Point. Whatever you want to call this weird Google side thing. Now, of course, we start with the beginning. Splatoon 1. The first game in the series coming out on 29th of May in 2015 in North America. Coming out on the precursor to the Switch, the Wii U. While the system itself did have its issues, of course, the system had some honestly grand fun games on there. This being the Golden Goose alongside Mario Maker's successful nature, as it was a hit. For the first game, the story was simple, yet there was details in secret scrolls that we weren't being told all the facts, and neither was our enemy. But for a start to a series, it brought about cool things to the table. The introduction to the main feature and draw from the trailers of turning into a squid from a kid, and vice versa. I still hear that damn song in my head. You're a squid now, you're a kid now. We're an adult now. Allowing you to swim in your own team's ink, which allowed for faster movement and being slightly hidden. That at the cost of not being able to use your weapons, specials, or sub abilities. Also, the gear had special things on them, affecting different aspects of how you went about everything, from how long it takes to get somewhere on foot or in swim form, or the damage you could do. Now, I'm gonna ramble a little bit here to stay on this one, because Splatoon 1 was, of course, the start of this all. There was main power up, which is the damage up there that I mentioned, which also kind of just in general bettered the weapons. Which, yeah, you can see why that one was powerful. I also, honestly always preferred just keeping the amount of ink consumption from firing and stuff, trying to keep that down forevermore. People don't know how much amazing things you can do when you barely ever run out of ink. Now, of course, talking more about the story and stuff. The Squid Sisters, this is where they began. This is where a lot of Splatoon's community really birthed forth. And goodness gracious, it's been a wild ride, you know? We've been here for so long, and in all honesty, I'm surprised how fun it's been. Even when I get tired of the games at some point. Not follow the games, I've just been playing it so much that, well, I need breaks from it from time to time. Whenever the new game's released, I always got like a jump start. But even the first one, there was only so much I could do before it was just like, I'm getting that anger that I got with Call of Duty again, and I didn't want that. So I don't want to burn out of the series because it's much more unique and interesting than Call of Duty. Now, as we come to the sequel, the current middle child, Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2, what a time! Released on July 21st, 2017, and a DLC released on June 13th, 2018, that allowed you to play as the Octarian counterparts, the Octolings, as well as play them when you beat the expansion regularly. Really lovingly expanded, jokes pun intended, the world of Splatoon, showing us more facets of the world we knew, the propaganda we saw from both sides in these battles, story mode, and unlocking a interesting COD Zombies-esque mode called Salmon Run, tasked with collecting eggs in these rounds and then going back to the boat to return back to Grisco headquarters. As for multiplayer aspects, we gain new shopkeepers again, except for Sheldon, a legal weaponing dealer, and professional. I'm going to talk your ear off about the weaponry. I am probably the only person that reads them. There's probably some small others, but I do generally enjoy when he goes on and on about the weapons. Unless they're like, oh, I don't know. They're weapons that have been like I've used these weapons before. I know this is a different style of play, that's why I'm getting them, buddy. Don't worry, I know. The dualies were added in this game. Wild thing to think about. We got the dualies in this game. The dualies, little side tangent, dualies are a really fun weapon and still are really good. I do hope they make dually versions of different weapons. Like, I want to see dually blasters at some point, or dually sloshers. Maybe the designs, like, for the sloshers are like nets of some sorts that you quickly, rapidly, like, splash or something. But, as, you, as it says in the text on the side there, dual-wielded smalling spraying equipment, usually geared more towards movement in some form, because, well, you could roll around with them. But an eagle-eyed viewer as yourself may have noticed that I said legal. Yeah. Grisco has special Grisco weapons of some of the types of weapons. Like, for example, in 2, we had a Grisco Slosher, a strange, piercing variant of the Slosher class that could shred through normally tough enemies, or the Grisco Charger, a hungry sniper that charged fast and dealt hardcore damage to the Salmon in its range. Overall, a wild journey. And then we come to the current moment. Splatoon 3. And this, we come to our latest entry as of the moment. Splatoon 3. released on September 9th of 2022. I can't believe it's going to be 2 years soon. And the stunning roguelite DLC of Side Road released on February 2nd of this year, 2024. It boggles my mind how far we have come from with this series, going from the idols of Squid Sisters to Off the Hook from Splatoon 2, the lovely lesbian duo, to the ones of three, Deep Cut, the big band, Shiver, and Fry triple yummy combo. The main story, seemingly the end of build up to of the whole thing with Octarians under Octavio fighting against the average Inkling, though he's not the focus, as he's actually our first boss, as his army was stolen. And then we literally fall into the setting of Splatoon 3's story, which personally I really did enjoy what it showed to us. Same can be said and more for Side Order, which expanded the kind of tech that is in the times of modern and ink and octo technology, spelling the power, but also early as some of its most budding technology, as well as weaponry that we get to interact with. Multiplayer did change a bit, as we saw main power up, the damage up, and other improvement power up that I mentioned earlier, seemingly get yeeted out of existence. Funny how in the game about chaos, the most chaotic ability you get on gear that gets Thanos snapped, but I am thankful for it. New specials and old specials that have tweaks. It's a fun ride overall because it's simply my views on it. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about my views on Splatoon 3 because I really do love how we've gotten Surge, the Squid Surge, which is if you can see, there's that wall there. That you can charge up essentially with the jump button while in squid form and launch yourself. You can also do a squid roll, which essentially is a dodge that you can go to in squid form, get out of the way, providing more movement options. Another thing that I'm hoping, if they are interested in ramping up Grizzco mode, which in Grizzco mode in Splatoon 3, they did add more, of course, Grizzco weapons, and they also add big runs, which are the main draw half the time. Big runs bring in the bosses, mark something new. Like, we have three different bosses, each of them seemingly correlating to a special in a sense, or like another boss that already exists. Of course, a smaller boss, but boss nonetheless. Then, of course, we gotta talk about the fact that you can fight all three of those big bosses at once in their latest variation, triumvirate or whatever, basically meaning a government of three. So, those things, yeah, it's a three-way government of for Salinoids, which really interesting. The more I learn about their culture, the more I'm interested, and the more I'm like, But yeah, it's an interesting and fun game overall. And then we end on this. What this series means to me, as I've been someone who has grown up with it, and the series, by the dev's own words, grows up with you, which is a really fun thing. This is the series that finally helped me figure out myself and whatnot. And it was very fun. It's been nice to play and see all these different art and the different stories we told, the different theorizing, people figuring out what these things say, whether it's gibberish or it's actually saying something. It's very fun, and it's very good to know that I will constantly see this get expanded upon and more in so many ways and shapes, and it really, really makes me happy that this grand festival that's coming up soon is showing us all that's come. It's giving us the thing. It's giving us like the most interesting topic ever for one, which is which is most important to you, past, present, or future. Past is represented by Squid Sisters, which makes sense. They're the first game. The second game is, which is Team Present, is represented by Off the Hook, the very in the moment people, the very the ones that set us on this chaos and order journeys. And then future is deep cut, and it makes sense. They want to focus on the future. They want to focus on bettering things. But I think this, even if it is the shortest ramble, I'm happy to share, and I do hope you have a good day, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. Have a good one, folks.